Good morning, guys. Well, I cannot say it was a really good morning because we almost didn't sleep at all. So it's not really hot outside. I'd say it's just 16 degrees or 17 degrees, but the hotel inside was unbearably hot. And we thought it's just us, but we also found some negative reviews from recent dates of people saying it's almost like the gates of Mordor here. It pretty much never happens to us, but we had to actually book another hotel, and we are not sure we'll get a refund for a second night here, but honestly wouldn't risk my life sleeping here second night. Such a pity because it's a nice hotel with a great location though. So we packed all our things. We don't have much, just the backpacks. It wasn't our first time in Budapest, so we decided to take it easy and explore it at a slower pace and actually enjoy it without rushing too much. So we decided to have breakfast first. We went to a place called the Brumba, which served sort of Middle Eastern / Israeli and Armenian food, and was really good and a little bit pricey, similar to London, which surprised us a little bit. Then we went closer to the river. It's like a mini market that looks a little bit like a Christmas market, but it's there all year round. Next to the market is kind of the main shopping area of Budapest. I love this area because it's pedestrianized. There are no cars, which is great. We actually were heading to the river where the hotel was located because we decided, even though it was early, we decided to try our luck and see if we can check in a little bit early. So we ended up rebooking a hotel and we booked Marriott, and it has the nicest view. Just look at this beauty. The river Danube in its full glory. Even though the view was amazing, we decided that it was time to do some sightseeing and start with the places we haven't visited before, one of them being the Central Market that was actually pretty close to the hotel, just 10 minutes walking. So we arrived to the market, and it's quite busy. The Great Market Hall was built in 1897, and it's one of the most beautiful markets in Europe, and it's definitely the biggest and the most beautiful market in Hungary. This is the best place to buy some souvenirs, including some edible souvenirs like decorative paprika packages, but they are a little bit overpriced. I haven't compared the prices versus some souvenir shops in the city center though. And this is where you can eat. I'm not sure about the prices, but I think it's way more affordable than in the restaurants, and there are quite a few options, including a lot of traditional Hungarian foods. And that's the shop we found just outside the market. It was definitely very unique and a little bit strange. We also wanted to try the chimney cake. It's not that we haven't tried it before, but this time I did a research and I read an article about the best places to try a chimney cake. And this is a place that was recommended. It was very highly rated, but it actually was a little bit disappointing. Because it's €5, not freshly made, it's just one sort of ready, pre-made cake.
I think it's tasty, it's just not.
Then it was time for us to go to another super exciting attraction, one of the most visited attractions in all Budapest. And to go there, we actually needed to take underground, which looked very, very cute. We bought a 24-hour transport ticket, and it was great and cheap. You might have guessed by now, but the attraction is a Széchenyi thermal bath. There are two main thermal baths in Budapest, and Széchenyi is probably the most beautiful one. And we spent 4 hours visiting the baths. Don't forget to bring your towels and flip-flops. Flip-flops are mandatory, and believe me, you will need a towel, and buying them there would be very, very expensive. Another location I would definitely recommend is the rooftop terrace of the Marriott Hotel. The views are so beautiful, and I recommend coming there for the sunset. In the evening, we had a restaurant booked called Hilda. We found it on the list of some of the best restaurants of Budapest. It was recommended by a few different publications, and we were lucky to find a booking for the same day. But it's recommended to book a couple of days in advance because it does get fully booked. The place is absolutely stunning. It's located close to the Danube River embankment, so in the city center. The menu was very small. There were very few options of dishes, but oh my, everything was so delicious. Honestly, it was the best food we've tried in months. And if I can only recommend one restaurant in Budapest, that would be this restaurant. It's great. We did eat a lot, so it was time to walk around the city in the evening and see the city center basically in a different light. It was Saturday night, so it was quite jolly, especially some areas of the city that are famous for their nightlife. Budapest is actually one of the party capitals of Europe. It is famous and it is actually very popular with stag do's and hen do's, which on one hand could be a good thing, but on the other hand could be also a bad thing, depending on how kind of the stag do's and hen do people behave. But yeah, basically Budapest is a great place for partying, especially in summer. We were visiting Budapest in the end of March, so it was a little bit cold at night, but in summer it is very, very hot and it's amazing weather, and you can see a lot of people drinking and partying. Also, Budapest has one of the most unique and strange bars in the entire world, and that's where we are going. It wasn't even 9 p.m., so the queue wasn't too large, and we got in pretty fast. It took us in total around 5 minutes to get in. The place is called Semplakert, or the famous Ruin Bar. Technically, it's not even one bar. It is a collection of multiple bars located around every corner. There are pubs, there are wine bars, there are more kind of unique cocktail bars, but mostly it's kind of like a super simple bars with kind of like same drinks all over the place. It was hard to find a table because it was quite busy inside, but we managed to find one in a dark corner. Well, we didn't stay too long, and we went back to the hotel around 11 p.m. Good morning, guys. Today was the change of the clock to the summertime, so we actually had 1 hour less of sleep, but nonetheless we managed to wake up around 8:45. So it's 9:45 and we are off to explore what Budapest has to offer, and we are gonna retry the New York Cafe and see how long is the wait now, because we don't have that much time. I don't think we're gonna be waiting for 2 hours for sure, because we still want to explore the other part of the city, the Buda. I think we are in Pest now, where most of the museums and the most beautiful structures are located. Still so early, everything is just reopening because it's Sunday. No, it opens at 10. To get to the New York Cafe, we actually had to take the underground again. We decided to take the underground because it was much faster. Otherwise, it would take us around 25 to 30 minutes to walk there, and we were scared that the queue would be much longer if we arrive a bit later. And that's a different underground line, and the station reminds me so much of St. Petersburg. Arriving early kind of paid off because we were so lucky and we didn't need to wait at all. There was no queue and we were seated immediately, and we also got a very nice seat, which was absolutely amazing. They just opened a new area, and that's where they seated all the people who arrived around the same time as we did. Live music was wonderful, and well, the food was okay, but I think even if you have to wait, it's worth it. So New York Cafe was a success because we didn't have to wait at all. It was early enough and there were tables available, and I think because of the time change not many people managed to wake up early. So we finished there. Now we took the metro and headed to the other side of Budapest, where all the main landmarks are. So we're gonna do a little bit of sightseeing now. Budapest consists of two parts, Buda and Pest. And while Pest is mostly flat, Buda is located, it has quite a few hills. Buda also used to be a historic capital of Hungary, so it used to be a completely different place from Pest. It used to be a different city, pretty much, separated by the Danube River. They are very close to each other. You can literally just cross a bridge or take the underground or take the bus. Since the end of 19th century, when both cities were united and created a unified city, Budapest, it's basically now part of the city. But it is very different, and you can see the architecture is different. It actually is quite large. It takes a third of the entire city, while Pest takes 2/3. Buda is a very touristy place, well, not surprisingly, because most of the main landmarks are located on this side of the river, and the nicest views also can be found here. So you can see a lot of tourist groups here, a lot of people come here with a tour, and there are also lots of hotels located here. But there are not many restaurants. There are some, but very, very few. So if you are hungry, I recommend actually eating before coming to Buda. My absolute favorite building in Buda is the Fisherman's Bastion, the one you can see now in a video. It's so unique and unusual. The views from here are majestic, and some parts of it are free to visit, so it's a no-brainer. This time round, Buda actually reminded me a lot of Zagreb and a little bit of Prague. I think the architectural style is very similar in this part of the city. If you also have been to all of these cities, please let me know if you think they are a little bit similar. This time to go down, we decided to take a slightly different route and found a very nice photogenic spot with a panorama of the city and also a very nice view of the Fisherman's Bastion. Since there are not many places where you can have lunch in Buda, we crossed the river and went to Pest, again to the Jewish quarter, which is probably the best district for food in Budapest. And this time we decided to visit a restaurant called Fat Mama and try their signature dish, the goulash. Even though it looked like a very small portion of goulash, it was actually more than enough. Goulash is a very fat soup, so I can promise you, you won't be able to eat more than that. I would rate the goulash of Fat Mama probably like 8 out of 10. It was really good, very affordable as well. Honestly, definitely recommend it if you want to try a very authentic goulash. This is the alley that looked so busy yesterday. Well, it's equally busy today, actually. Feels like it's even busier. many restaurants, many kind of like gastropubs. So yeah, seems like there is even a market. Right now I think we only have time for dessert, so we're gonna go for coffee and dessert, and then it would be time to head back to the airport. For the dessert, we came to the famous historic Café Gerbeau, which was internationally acclaimed even in the end of the 19th century. It was always famous for its cakes, and the cakes were great, so definitely recommend it. And just like that, it was time to go back to London. So we grabbed an airport bus, which required buying a separate ticket. Keep in mind, travel cards don't work there. And yeah, that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it thumbs up and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.